Hi, I want to go over today Love and Prophecy by McCollam. This first section is on prophecy is patient. Love is patient, so prophecy must be patient. Patience speaks of self-control and the ability to hold your passion. Every sphere of influence requires patience in the prophetic. It would not be appropriate to jump up and interrupt a business meeting or government gathering because you feel like you have a prophetic word. There is a protocol that must be followed. You must have some level of invitation, and you must know the language that effectively communicates truth within that environment. One challenge to patience in prophecy is that revelation and inspiration often arrive with a little shot of adrenaline, like a rush. Some people feel goosebumps, others feel a heat or an internal pressure, and there are those who burst over with excitement. God moving on and in people can be an exhilarating experience. In the majority of cases, our exhilarating moments of prophetic inspiration need to be subjected to a protocol of patience and wait for an opportune time. Scripture gives us a clear protocol of patience for the healthy operation of the prophetic within a church setting. We find this prophetic protocol in the chapter directly following the description of love. We know in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, we call that the chapter of love, but in the chapter right after that, 1 Corinthians 14, verses 29 through 32, we read 2 or 3 prophets should speak, and the others should weigh carefully what is said. And if a revelation comes to someone who is sitting down, the first speaker should stop. For you can all prophesy in turn, so that everyone may be instructed and encouraged. The spirits of prophets are subject to the control of prophets. The instructions in this text include stopping your prophetic utterance and taking turns and bringing your prophetic unction to under the control of the prophet. Being able to hold a prophetic word is just as important as being able to share a prophetic word. So this ability to hold a prophetic word is what Scripture calls bringing your gift into subjection, or prophecy being under the control of the prophets. You don't have to speak everything you see, hear, or feel. Prophecy is meant to function within a protocol of patience that waits for the right time and place and wording. The book of Proverbs doesn't pull any punches when it's talking about the lack of wisdom in sharing words during the wrong timing. We see in Proverbs 29:20, "Do you see someone who speaks too soon? There is more hope for a fool than for him." And Proverbs 17, verse 27 says, "The one who has knowledge uses words with restraint, and whoever has understanding is even-tempered." When it comes to delivering prophetic words, we need not only the right word, but we need to speak them in the right season. When you foresee a particular thing, it's important to know that you're often seeing it out of its proper timing. You must patiently wait for the right season, the proper season to deliver that word. This idea is found in God's instructions to the prophet Habakkuk in the book of Habakkuk. In chapter 2, verse 3, it says, "For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end, and it will not prove false. Though it lingers, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay." A word doesn't have to be wrong to be not used. Many times the word confirms a direction that the leaders are already heading in, so there's no need to share it publicly. Value is still present, and it still serves the purpose of encouragement. And other times, a prophetic word received in a corporate setting might speak more directly to the receiver themselves, and the point person whom members of the congregation can bring prophetic impressions will help them recognize and respond to what the Lord is saying to them. There are many benefits to being patient within a prophecy. Holding a word refines the word. It allows you to mediate on deeper principles and meanings. And those are meanings behind what God is communicating. Holding a word empowers you to deliver it with the right season and with greater depth. So often we're so excited about a revelation and we want to blurt it out before the proper time and season. The word is still true, but then it doesn't have its desired impact. Holding a word allows you to get in wisdom for the greater context of the situation. A text is only as powerful as its content. You increase the power of a word when it has a wiser and a greater context. Holding a word, it allows that prophetic person to identify in a greater way with the person who is receiving the word and their destiny. The connection that is formed through this patience with the prophetic ensures that the word is going to be delivered in love. I'm not saying that a prophetic person must wait on every single word, but every word must be delivered in love and patience. Otherwise, as the ultimate protocol says, it is nothing. Another form of patience in prophecy is found in the principle that Jesus demonstrated when he says, love only shares what a person can bear. John chapter 16, verse 12 says, I have much more to say to you, much more than you can now bear. Jesus had so much more to share with his disciples, but the love in him only allowed him to communicate what they could actually bear to hear. And there are time limits in prophetic activation trainings where they are training people to be prophetic in certain situations in churches. They require students to prophesy within a strict time limit. They generally give them 90 seconds to receive and deliver the prophetic word. And these time limits train the prophetic students to stir up the gift that is in them and bring the operation and flow of the gift under control. They learn how to start and stop a prophetic flow. The restraint of a time limit teaches a protocol of love and patience. The first step into sharing prophecy in love is to learn to be patient. We need to demonstrate patience for the right word in the right time and the right season. We need to discern when a word is about content and when it's merely about providing a context. As prophetic communities, we need to choose to share only what a person is able to bear. We don't have to speak our whole mind on everything that the Lord gives us, but rather watch in love for what the receiver is able to digest about this. You don't have to give them the whole word necessarily. Love is patience, so prophecy must be patient. Prophetic protocol number 1 is patiently wait for the right time to share a prophetic word and watch for the right way to say it. Love shares only what a person can bear because prophecy is patient.